Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And guess what? Gen Z's not going to be playing consoles or buying consoles in the future. At least if you listen to Mr. More Peter. You know, he thinks that Gen Z may reject new consoles in favor of smartphones and PCs. And his argument is kind of asshattery. Because his statement is, why do I need to spend $400 or $500 on a bespoke piece of gaming hardware when I've got my smartphone or I got my PC or my Mac? If you're gaming on a Mac, you've got a problem. First of all, if you're gaming on a smartphone and that's your primary gaming, you're not playing games. You're playing time wasters. But if you don't have a PC, are you really going to spend the thousands of dollars to make a good gaming PC? I guess you can go buy yourself one of these $700 fly-by-night things that'll last you a year or two before it's going to just leave you hanging. But if you want a real gaming PC, you're going to spend a minimum of $1,500. I'm sorry, but that's if you want a mid-range gaming PC, you're spending $1,500 to $2,000. And that's, but you can probably get away with an $800 bare bone PC that's got like the low end graphics card, no monitor, no key. It comes with the cheap plastic flexible keyboard and mouse that feels like it weighs like nothing. Cheap mice. I don't think that we have reached the last console generation, as Mr. More Peter has said. He doesn't claim to know for sure, but he thinks it's a question that current Xbox head Phil Spencer must be asking himself. I'm sure Sony and Microsoft both ask themselves this question all the time. Are consoles dead? And the number of units they sell is telling them, no, it's not, right? Because there's a difference in a $500 console and a $1,500 PC or a $2,000 PC, right? There's a difference. $500 is quite a bit more affordable than a $1,000, $2,000 PC. I think Peter Moore is talking out of his ass, and there's a reason he's the former he's the former Xbox boss and not the current. Phil Spencer has been doing really good, I think, with Microsoft, and I think he is really, as much as any head of a gaming division or company can be on the player side, right? He's company man, company pays his salary. But I feel like he's done a lot more for Xbox than a lot of the past, heads of Xbox have done. So, I don't think that Xbox is going to stop trying to make new consoles with next generation or the generation after that, right? PCs are cool and all. Like all three of us own PCs. We all have gaming PCs. Like I built my current gaming PC for just shy of $2,000. Nick built him a Screamer gaming PC and Shane got him a Screamer gaming PC. So we all buy that, but that's a lot more than what we paid for our consoles, right? And at some time, I may just want to sit in my couch or sit on my chair and play it. I take a controller and plug my computer into my TV and all that kind of crap and whatever, but I can't afford the quality of TV. I can't afford the quality of monitors, what I should say, in a TV, right? Like, I just can't, right? I can't afford this super humongous TV that's 65 inches that'll run anywhere near the graphics fidelity that my monitor can do, right? That's just plain and simple. I just can't afford that. That's too expensive. But I can afford it in a smaller form factor of a 32, 34-inch monitor, where I can run the higher hertz monitors with the lower refresh rates and FreeSync and all this crap I can do. That to me is good in the small form factor. But sometimes I just want to sit and plug something like I want to have my console simplified, where I don't worry about an OS that I can screw up or corrupt or anything like that, because I do my computer gets reloaded the OS so many times. I don't know. I think that Peter Moore is just talking out of his ass and he's trying to stay relevant, because to me, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. He's just trying to stay relevant. Nick, what do you think about More Peter there and his ramblings about Gen Z doesn't want a bespoke piece of gaming hardware?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're there yet. Maybe one of these days we might get to that point, but I think at the moment, I think you're right when it comes to. I mean, price is a factor, right, and the biggest factor. Um, Especially with if Sony were to do this, it would be even better. But with Microsoft, the All Access, where you can get the Xbox with Game Pass for a monthly price, right, until you pay it off. Um, that makes it easier. I mean, because you can't, unless you go to like a Rent-A-Center or something like that, or get it on credit. You can't get an awesome gaming PC just by, it's those things are a little bit more difficult to acquire. And that's why we, that same functionality is how we buy $2,000 or $1,500 smartphones every year, right? We don't have the money to spill out that much amount of money at one time. We get to pay for them over time. And so Microsoft did that with Xbox. And if Sony did that with PlayStation, that would make it better. But I think spending $400 to $500 on a gaming console, people like convenience, right? I think a lot of people like convenience. They like the affordability and the convenience. So a console is very plug and play. You just plug it in and you can start playing. Whereas a PC, and don't get me wrong, I love PC, love gaming on PC, but PC, there's a lot more to it, right? Like you said, you have the OS and then you got all the different components, and then you got to make sure that a game is compatible with whatever components you have and can run in a certain way. And then, of course, your TV has to be able to, well, I mean, it's the same with consoles, but your monitor has to be able to, deal with FreeSync or G-Sync or the different hertz ratios and resolutions and stuff like that. So I think for a lot of, and I don't know the metrics, right? But I think for a lot of people, gaming PC is on the rise. That much is true. And it's always been steady, right? But I just don't know how many people are going to trade in the convenience of a console for PC gaming. I just don't know. I mean, nowadays you don't have to build a PC with components. That's the better way to go, right? Is to get the motherboard, RAM, the processor, all that stuff, build it yourself and put it together. But unlike the olden days, pre-builts are, used to back in the past, a pre-built, again, it depends. You have to do your research when you get your pre-builts, but pre-builts were not the way to go back in the day. Anymore, pre-builts are pretty decent nowadays, and they're comparatively priced to going out and buying the components yourself, right? Give or take, depends on what components you buy, right? And how much cap they put it on that. Depending, again, got to do your research. If you're going to buy a pre-built, make sure you're getting it from a good company. They all have their highs and lows. You just got to do your research. Don't go out and buy the first thing you see, right? But you're right. You are going to spend, if you want a good, decent gaming PC, you are going to spend a few $1,000s to have something. I mean, $2,000, you're going to get something like maybe mid-range. More than that is where you get to the high-end stuff, $3,000 to $4,000 if you want to get something that's going to be on the higher spectrum. So you are going to spend a pretty penny, and not everybody has that that type of money to be able to do something like that. So I think consoles are just a better way of going. Will consoles go the way of the dodo? Maybe at some point. I don't see it anytime soon. And the only reason why I would see it at some point is just something better comes along that kind of replaces that, or the need for a console is no longer there. Right now, I don't see a need for the console to not be there as a thing currently at the moment. So, I don't see it happening anytime soon. What about you, Shane? What do you think?
Well, I don't think that often, especially about Peter Moore. It's I really don't know how to answer that because I don't think he's entirely wrong. I just don't think he's looking far enough into the future. When consoles like ColecoVision and all that stuff first came out, they were extremely niche. Atari was like the closest to mainstream back in that day, and then when it died, we went, wanting for a while. Then Nintendo came out. Nintendo brought out a home entertainment system that basically revitalized the entire home gaming market. And there's never been a lull in the home video game market since. It has only progressed further, and further, even in this latest generation. Yes, Sony is dropping bombs on Microsoft right now as far as console sales, but console sales don't really equate to what they used to because of all the various ways you could play Microsoft games. And Sony's starting to follow suit a little bit with PC. So I don't see consoles going anywhere for at least a few more generations. And the only way I really see consoles going out is if they get so expensive or internet's connectivity is much more stable and faster. I believe the FTC, one of you guys are talking about it, where broadband speeds are now like to be considered broadband or whatever it was, it had to be triple the speed it is now or something. And that's when I think we might see consoles go away if that stuff can be built right into your television. Your television could do frickin' so many things right now. It can't play games, not real games. I mean, you can use the remote and play the little block ball thing, and that's about it. So that's about the only way I really see consoles going out is if they overprice themselves. Because right now, consoles are $500. I think that's it, right? $499 for Series X and PS5. So I don't see them going in a way unless they try to overprice them. Sony came out with PS3 at $600. That damn near destroyed them. And, they lowered their price and they, finally made a comeback and even ended up beating 360 by the end of that generation. Barely, but they did. Pricing is everything when it comes to consoles. Consoles are for a different breed of gamer. A gaming PC, like Nick said, it's expensive. Mine, I'm just glad my wife's still with me after I, spent that kind of money. So, but when it comes to a console, she's more, yeah, I understand $500. She doesn't understand $2,000 to play games. So it's two different gaming head thoughts when it comes to consoles and PC. Now, the whole phone thing, I don't get it. It's poop time fun. That's all it is. You're going to play that game while you're dropping, toilet bombs. That's it. That is the majority. Now, your kids will play them. My kids play Netflix. My kids play all sorts of streaming videos, but they don't play cell phone games. They did when they were little, and that's it. And now it's like music and YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. So I don't see phones really ever being a competitor for the home console, period. PC, on the other hand, I see that all over the place. I see that there's a good chance. But Pat's right, though. I can't afford one of them really nice monitors. I mean, I got a really nice TV. I can't afford a, $3,000 4K monitor that's only 27 inches. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want to put it on the wall. So it's crazy. But Peter Moore is, honestly, that's the first I've heard his name in forever. So he sucked then when he worked at Microsoft. He sucked when he worked at EA, and he sucks now, and I don't even know what the hell he does. So, But that is my opinion.
I hate to break it to you, Shane, but
Don't break it.
unfortunately, mobile gaming dwarfs PC and console gaming combined.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Because even I'm guilty of the poop time phone.
Well, but I don't think that you are. I don't think that you're the demographic, because for mobile games to make money, and I'm talking revenue, I'm not talking about number of players here.
Yeah,
they double, and none of them are going away. Like, all this means is more companies are going to be targeting the mobile market for easy cash, because that's what mobile market is. Like, I think the mobile games are like easy cash grab games, because there's like a few very popular one out there. I like Genshin and Star Rail. Those are like real popular games out there, but they have microtransactions out the ass, and I'm just like, no, I don't do any of that. Yeah. But mobile gaming,
it's the advertisements that get them the most revenue, is it not? Because
but like Star Rail and Genshin don't have ads. They're like microtransactions.
Oh, really? I've never really played those. So.
Yeah, they're like they're not ads. They're like full-fledged games on the mobile phone. And so mobile, last statistic came out, was $101 billion a year industry, whereas PC gaming is 45 and console was 30.
Yeah.
So, but if they both been
on the rise. Which one is fun?
I like PC and console. I mean,
there you go.
I don't understand mobile gaming. I don't get it. Like I don't even play poop games. I don't play any games on my phone.
Here's the thing. Shane nailed it, that ads probably bring in the majority of the money on those non-microtransaction games, but everybody has one of these. And when they're at work, they get like 15-minute break or half-hour break. I remember when I worked in a production job.
Stomach ache.
Yeah. But I remember being in a production job, and you would go out on the shop floor, and the plant would be shut down for 15 minutes for whatever. And there's people out there, like, I'm playing Candy Crush or something on their phone. And you're like, that's why. Like, that person that has picked up that phone and is playing that game probably has no console, no PC at home. So, I mean, everybody and their brother, my mom has one, my grandma has one. And I guarantee you they all play like Shane's pooping games. They all play them. And I will, when I'm bored waiting for something, I'm going to play this, I don't play I don't use my phone a lot during work, but there's plenty of people that you see out there that are probably playing a game, a quick little 15-minute break or something. They're playing a game, because to me, phone games at work now is like the new smoke break, right? Everybody used to take their little smoke break every now and then. Now they're a mobile gaming break. But I don't see them getting rid of one for the other. I mean, if consoles are making $30 billion, who the hell in their right mind is going to stop making $30 billion? I mean, when PC games only making 15 billion more than you a year, 15 billion is a lot of freaking money, but it's 15 billion more than a console's making. And all the gaming industry in the last couple of years has been on down. Revenue's going down on all fronts, mobile, PC, and console. That's why they're all laying people off. I mean, they're losing percentages of revenue, not points of a percentages of revenue over the last couple of years. So, I think the peak, like I said, I think the peak was 101 billion, and now it's like it's lost some. It's probably not even over 100 billion this year because of how much it's losing. But this is in the hands of more people than a PC and a console, even though this costs more than a console. Even the cheap ones of these cost more than a console.
Now,
but you pay it in $25 increments.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Nick nailed that. That is those phones are your rental places for your consoles, but you're doing it with a phone.
And because a lot of people don't
90% of people have those things on a damn payday plan.
Yeah, well, almost everybody does. Sucks. Nobody's paying $1,000 for this right out of their pocket. I don't pay it out of my pocket.
I had an option. No.
Yeah, so, right.
And it's sad. I mean, Peter Moore's poop time party there is, it is winning, but it is not I don't consider, and this is me, I don't consider the cell phone a gaming unit of any kind. I consider it I've got time to waste. I'm waiting for the kids to come out of the school. I ate Taco Bell. There is going to be times where I pick up my phone and I am going to sit for 10, 15 minutes. In a 5-minute session of damn near any game, you're going to get 15 goddamn ads.
Yeah.
And what's that? Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You don't buy it, but they're still making money on it. So
yeah, it's ad revenue. Ad revenue is what's driven the web since its early days in the web, right? An ad, you go to a site and there's an ad banner. First damn thing that loads on the page. Everything else, I remember back in the old dial-up days where you're like, and you're like, ads the very first thing to load, and you're like, whatever, but they got charged for that ad, even if you canceled that download of that page or loading of that page, because, so I mean, yeah, these are just, but gaming as a whole makes over like $180 billion. And if you want to chop out $30 billion of that on the console gaming side and lose out on that, sure, Mr. Moore, you're right. Mr. Moore Peter, because that's what he needs, because he's freaking smoking something, I don't know. That guy just sounds moronic. Like, I don't think consoles are going to come around. They're going to die off in the next generation or two.
And
$30 billion.
The
$30 billion damn dollar well is just going to dry up overnight. We're not going to make any more. It's so stupid. Like, you're an idiot, dude. Like,
now,
they're not going the way of the arcade. The arcades are going away, right?
But in his defense, though, some people are doubling down on cell phone games. Warner Brothers, we just did a video on that.
Yeah, but Warner Brothers is going to go bankrupt.
Warner Brothers is they're going to lose all that Batman money, and they're going to end up broke.
They're going to sell their gaming studio off with all their IPs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're going to end up having to, because they're stupid. They're going to pull an Ubisoft with NFTs, except for these guys are doing it with mobile gaming. I mean, Batman Mobile may be a good thing. It might be a good thing for them, but will it generate on the revenue? Maybe. I don't know.
But who wants to play a Batman game where I'm going to get you? Oh, stay tuned for a new ad.
Well, I mean, if they made a DC like Genshin game or a DC Star Rail game, I mean, it probably could. I mean, what was the big Marvel card game that was going around? Marvel Snap. That shit did great.
I don't remember that one.
Marvel Snap was making crap ton of money and was big news for a while. I believe it was Marvel Snap. Is that what it's called? Remember that? Nick, caring about that? Was it Marvel Snap?
Did you play that when you pooped, Nick?
No, Nick, I don't play any games on phone.
Right.
I don't have a single game downloaded on it.
And all it was a card battling game.
Yeah.
I don't
remember.
It was on the App Store and on Steam and all this stuff. And yeah, I believe it made quite a bit of money. And they did Twitch, like things with, they were like, you can get cards from things like Twitch and all these other, like, they were partnering with these other groups to like get ways to get more cards into your deck. It's a deck building game for that. So, it was real popular and it makes money. So I think DC could do something very similar or have their own, or maybe they'll make the Fallout shelter, the Batcave, build the Batcave bigger with more stuff in it, and fight more villains, something like that. I think they could make money if they were smart, but I don't think that Warner Brothers is smart. So.
Oh, no. Whoever's running that shit, their helmet is way too, their bat cowl is way too tight.
It's Yakko, Wacko, and Dot.
Yeah. And it's Dot's turn, or no, it's Wacko's turn. It's Yakko's turn to run it's his turn to run the show. So Dot already left. When Arkham went out, Dot left, and now they're bringing in all this other mobile and games of service crap that nobody wants anymore. But yeah, so all that to say is that I don't think consoles are going anywhere. And I think Peter Moore is just trying to rile things up so he can stay relevant, because I haven't heard crap about Peter Moore in freaking forever. And I almost forgot about him. He's like that bad ex-girlfriend that you get that's just atrocious. And the new one kind of makes you forget about that one. And then it pops up out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, I forgot you existed. That's how Phil made us spend. Phil made us forget about Peter.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Peter Moore, I mean, he's got the relevance of Peter Molyneux. I mean, there's two Peters nobody wants.
Peter Molyneux had vision, at least.
The man was nuts.
Back in the day, you had it.
Yes, he had. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he at least made some cool shit, what Molyneux did.
He tried to make
what
Milo.
Did Moore do? What did Peter Moore do?
Hey,
he got Halo tattooed on his arm.
Yeah. Hey, at least Peter Molyneux made Black and White.
Yes.
And
He
Black
wanted
and
to
White
make
2.
he wanted to make a game about a small boy and with the Kinect. Hey Milo, take off your shirt.
They just need to make a new Black and White. That's all I have to say. That'll
Yes.
never happen, but
I wish they would too.
I wish
agree.
they would.
But-
Black and White
but-
2 with color.
Right.
They had a second one. It'd be Black and White 3.
Right, because
You-
what
If they
only
made a
thing
second one, it would be 2. You just said Black and White 2 would be 3.
No, they had a second Black and White.
I just want to see your shit yourself.
like all I ever think about when I think about Peter Moore, I think about like disasters in gaming history. Sega killing the Dreamcast, the Red Ring of Death. That's what I remember about Moore. And both of those were disasters and debacles. Even though he's not directly responsible for the Red Ring of Death, that's his legacy. His legacy is Sega stopped making consoles and going third party only, and Xbox Red Ring of Death. That's what he's known for. So Peter Moore, never more. We don't want to hear anymore because you're a bad omen in gaming.
Peter Moore, how about Peter Less?
Yeah, well, I that guy's just irrelevant these days. So and yeah, so I think we've given him enough airtime over his shenanigans and not worthwhile conversation. Because I think when I read that article, I was like, who's the idiots that believe this crap? $30 billion is worth walking away from the table over, right? We don't need $30 billion, guys. We don't need it. Just move on. All right. Either of you guys got anything else to say about this before we say no more to Peter Moore?
I think he left and went over to EA Sports, didn't he? Isn't that where he went?
I think he did go to EA. I don't even know where the hell he's at anymore.
No, he came. He went.
He
to
came
EA
from Sega.
from Halo, from Xbox. Then he went
Okay.
over to EA.
Yeah, he went to EA. I think he went to the sports division of EA. I want to say.
Is that why
Because
they
when I
lost
think
the
of
Madden?
Peter Moore,
Is that
I
why they
think
lost the all this?
Might be.
Why they lost all the soccer game? That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, FIFA.
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 He's the reason they lost FIFA.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But let us know what you guys think about this. Do you think consoles are dying and there's not going to be a next gen or the gen after consoles? Do you think $30 billion is something to laugh at and throw money away from? What do you think? Do you think Peter Moore has a leg to stand on here? We all know that the phone games are dwarfing console and PC gaming. And maybe we could get more PC gaming going if we can get more game developers to support Mac. Because Macs don't get it's unfortunate. I want everybody to play a game. And if you own a Mac and you want to play a game on it, then you should be allowed to as long as it can support it. But game developers don't develop to Mac. That's just the very few games come to Mac. And if they do, they're like a year later after they've been released on everything else. So we want Mac gamers to game, but we know that Mac gamers are not included in the PC gaming market because most games don't come to them, unfortunately. So, but we all wish that the mobile market would tank so we can stop, so all these developers would stop focusing on crap mobile games. But that's never going to happen because it makes more revenue than PC and console gaming combined, and handheld gaming, I should say. Switch is typically thrown in with the console gaming because the console / handheld. But let us know what you think down in the comments. Do you side with Mr. Peter or do you side with us and thinking that he's crazy? All right. Well, let us know what you think down in the comments. And we've reached the end of this episode. If you're not subscribed already, come on, hit that button. Help us out. We got to reach some numbers so we can keep doing this. We enjoy talking about a bunch of BS about video games and riling everybody up and riling each other up. So hit that subscribe button to help us out. Hit that bell to get notified when we put out new videos every week. And hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.